Yo, what's going on YouTube? Street Fred here, and we got a lot to talk about today. I know it's football season. It's a good week. My teams are winning. It's all good. But we're talking basketball today. EA Sports has decided they're going to stop making the game. They're going to stop making EA Sports College Basketball, the game they just announced in July. It's been reported that they've dropped out and that 2K is sliding right in, like they've done so many times. Here's the deal, y'all. I'm disappointed. I'm real disappointed. I know a lot of people disappointed. We should have seen it coming though, because EA can't seem to get anything right these days, and they really can't get anything right with basketball. It's a sticky situation. But I think that this is one of those things where money just wins again. And, that's just not it's just one of those things where it's just not fair for the consumer. And look, I'm not the national spokesperson for consumerism. I'm not over here trying to just be some white knight, like, oh, look, the consumer loses again. But really, though, the consumer loses again, because we had an opportunity to have a little bit of competition back, just a little bit. And now we can't get it. So here's the deal. If you haven't heard, EA has dropped out, and it's been reported that the reason is because a lot of the colleges that EA Sports was pursuing wanted to work with 2K instead. And I also heard that EA wanted an exclusive license. So there's a little bit to unpack here, right? Number one, I don't think EA was in any position to want exclusivity. That's just me, my opinion, because at this point, it's like beggars can't be choosers. And I'm not saying that they would be on that level because they are EA Sports. They have the brand, they have the name. But at the same time, you haven't been in basketball since last gen. Like, we haven't had a basketball title from you since 2019 or 2018 with NBA Live 19. And that was on the PS4. So we don't know what you would have done in the PS5. We're almost done with that. PS6 coming soon. And you're talking about making a college basketball game for 2028. That's a long time. That's 3 years. So we don't know what you would have done. We have no clue if it would have been good. We don't know if they would have completely failed. We have no idea. So you're going to come in and automatically ask for exclusivity. That's not the right way to go. Now, I know why they would have done it. They would have wanted that because they didn't want 2K to come in and swoop in and, just take over like they did before. But really and truly, you can't take that gamble because guess what? They end up doing it anyway. And, that sucks. But at the same time, when you have EA Sports to blame for that, you can also blame the colleges, right? Because at this point, it's all about money. That's it. Right? No college is going to look at a game and say, you know what, man, we really could use some competition. We could use some competition in the basketball space. Both of y'all make a game. They're not going to do that because it takes time. It takes money to put these licenses together and all these fees and these contracts and things like that. And to have to do that with multiple companies is probably a pain. It takes time and it costs money. And the return on investment for the exposure that the colleges would get along with the revenue that they would get sounds a whole lot better when 2K comes in and says, you know what, we could do it a year earlier. And now that EA is dropped out, doesn't matter if they get the game out in 2027 because they got the market cornered. So if they want to come in 27 and they can do it, then cool. But if they can't and they say, it's going to be delayed, it's not like anybody can really say anything. Because what are they going to do? Go back to EA? No. So it's kind of tricky, right? Because you have this moment where you're like, man, we lose again. So now 2K has decided that they're going to step in and make a game. when originally they were talking about making a DLC or something with like 16 teams, which is pretty much what they did in years prior anyway with the career mode. You know, they had like 8 teams or something like that. But now I think they're actually making a real game and they're supposed to have like 100 schools in it, which is cool. You know, like it'll be cool to have a college game again so they can bring back college hoops or whatever they're going to call it. But, you know, like unfortunately, we lose again. And as a kid, when I was 10 years old, you couldn't have told me like this would be the state of sports games. Like I've been playing sports games a long time. And every year there's always that thing where, man, this game looks and feels so real. It looks good. These are the best graphics we've ever seen. Then you go back and look at it now and it's like, these are trash. But at the time, you didn't know any better, right? So all you could think of back then was, man, we're gonna have all the sports, we're gonna have all the graphics. It's gonna look like real life, like you're watching it on TV. It's gonna be great. And the thing is that we're not at that point at all. I mean, honestly, I think we pretty much maxed out what we can do with graphics, and you know, that's fine, whatever. But from a general standpoint, when it comes to graphics, when it comes to presentation, when it comes to features, especially when it comes to competition, we've gotten worse. The technology capabilities have gotten better, but all the other areas have gotten worse. And that is insane to think about. We had all the stuff. We had the dunk contest and we had all of this stuff in NBA Live. And somewhere they just went left and just completely just dropped out. And just never to be seen or heard from again. It's crazy. So, you know, it's one of those things where we lose again as consumers. And now we've got a company that we already know is predatory with their microtransactions. They got NBA 2K where you got to drop $200 just to get your dude decent, because who has time to sit and grind a build all day? You know, like if you're like me and got a day job, like ain't nobody playing this 24/7 like all day. I got to work. So yeah, I'm gonna drop some money on some VC so I can get my build decent so I can run with the squad. And then, you know, you also got the other aspect of, you know, they trying to do it in WWE. You go look at WWE 2K25 and they brought the island in, more microtransactions, right? So you already know what's coming with 2K college basketball. Like it's just more stuff to look forward to where you gotta probably pay to get a pair of shoes. Like, I mean, it's just crazy, you know. And it's interesting to me that if you look at their post on X or Twitter or whatever, it's interesting that they point out they have a line that says competition fuels quality at all levels. You know, you say that, but yeah, we only have one game. Like, how do you even put that in a Twitter post? Yeah, that's crazy to me. It's not so much of, oh, there's only one game. Like, yeah, that's kind of annoying, but all these other sports only have one game. It's not that big a deal. The issue is now you've allowed 2K to completely corner the market and set the parameters for what the game is. Right? Just because they can get the game out quicker, just because you can get the exposure, you can get your little revenue 1 year earlier. Right? Now, if it was because EA wanted exclusivity, I get it. You know, I don't think they should have went that route. I know why they would have, but it's not. It's not ideal, right? But the thing is, you know, it's just one of those things where you just have to you have to question when do we get to a point where we can just have competition back, right? It just makes everything better. It does. They got enough money to go around. They do. Because a lot of people gonna buy both. And the better game will win. But these titles, these companies, these schools, whatever, they don't want that. They just want to get to the bottom line, and it is what it is. I get it. Capitalism is cool. but it's not good for the consumer at all. And it's unfortunate. And it's one of those things where I wish they would have, you know, allowed EA back in. I wish EA would just put their foot down and just go for it. Because here's the deal, guys. EA has the name. They have the brand. You don't have to work that hard to market it. Everybody was already hyped that they was coming back when they announced it during the college football, gameplay reveal. Everybody was already hyped because we already know the history there. We know what EA Sports is. We know how they do things. And it would have been on next gen. So we would have been excited to see what they would have done with it. But now it's just like, oh well. So, the consumer loses out again. And 2K's got the market completely cornered in basketball. EA's got it in football. So we just got to live with what we got. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Appreciate you sticking around, and y'all take it easy.